Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome in to the Only Bet Sports Betting Podcast alongside my co-host, SternBets and DrewDelucci. I am Prince of Picks. We have got an excellent show lined up for you guys today. Of course, we got the three-man weave coming at you. We have got the NBA in action tonight. Of course, college basketball heading into the conference tournament time, getting down towards the granddaddy of them all here, the March Madness NCAA tournament proper. So we're really excited to get into that here soon. Of course, we've got baseball on the horizon here, spring training, World Baseball Classic. We've got a bunch of matches going on across Europe here on the pitch, both on the men's and women's side. Of course, we've got women's World Cup qualifying in action. We will have a couple angles and looks for you guys on those plays. And as well, we've got the NHL on the ice as well in action. So golf, of course, coming up here on the PGA in a couple days. We've got UFC. We've got just a bunch of sports right now. It's a great time to be a sports fan as we are entering the sports equinox here, if you will, where a bunch of sports are kind of converging here at the same time. Of course, the NBA gearing down towards the playoff season here. So really exciting time to be a sports investor. And of course, if you guys are following us, we are going to continue to try to make you guys cash and increase that bankroll every single day. So before we get into the picks today, real quick, if you guys can do us a solid, head on over to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give us a real quick rate, review, and subscribe. Does wonders in terms of supporting the show. You guys have been awesome with your support. We never want to downplay that. So thank you so much for all the support that you guys have given us. And with that being said, let me pass it over to my co-host, Mr. SternBets, Mr. Moshe. What's going on, brother?
Hey, third time's the charm, and this isn't just a great time to be a sports fan. This is probably the best time to be a sports fan. And I felt like I had to say that again because I loved how it rolled off the first time. It just didn't come out the second time.
yes, it is the best time. It is the best time, the greatest time, one of the greatest times in the calendar year to be a sports fan. As we had just mentioned, a bunch of sports here converging at the same time, getting into the most exciting parts of all these sports. So that's the most fun of it all.
Yeah, so let's start out again. I know we just did this. We had a previous recording that fell short, but I want to bring in Drew. I want to recap our best bets every single day, whether or not we lost or won. Just want to give our listeners a fair shake of how we did the day before and what to expect the day after. And full disclosure, when I lose or when I see someone losing one day and they're generally good, that's the best time to pick them up the day after because regression to the mean is always there. So Drew, come on in. Tell us about your day yesterday. I know we had a scary 3-leg parlay, but I think we did all right.
Yeah, definitely a scary 3-leg parlay. One, I'm glad we didn't have to worry about from the jump, really. It was Northern Colorado, took care of Montana. They started out down 7-2, and then they just rolled one by like 20-plus us away. But SFA was up by 10 in the second half. 1 point. They blew the lead, went down 6, and then they, tightened up, came back. McNeese was up by 10. Nicole's bought it within 2. And then McNeese put the foot on the gas. And something that's crazy is about McNeese is if the people who took their spread at 9.5 when it closed, they actually did cover 9.5 somehow. So shout out to those people if they did that. It's crazy how college basketball can work, guys. The final score probably doesn't always depict how the games are because, free throws and stuff can change things in a hurry.
Yeah, that was wild. Both the McNeese and SFA, they just blew big leads and then hustled to really get it done at the end there. So that was exciting and fun. And honestly, I really appreciate you, man. And watching your college basketball plays, it's awesome. You have a real knack for it. I'm really happy that you're here. I went 1-1, so 2-1 overall for the brand, which isn't bad. That's pretty good, right? That's up a unit. All of our plays, I think, yesterday were near even money, which is kind of where we would like to be in general. So Boston, that was a little bit scary. Giannis came back for the Bucks, which is never fun to not know that he's coming back and then all of a sudden have to face him. But not only that, Jaylen Brown was out for the Celtics, but no matter, they won by 30 points. And then the Dallas Stars, I turned that game off when it was 5-1 in the third. That wasn't even close. Dallas Stars are on a very, very, very impressive streak right now. And honestly, I think that they're probably a really good look for tonight as well. I think you can get that at minus 125, but we'll talk about the NHL later on. I also want to say that I did lose my parlay here in soccer in the Serie A league. Bologna, no problem. They won 1-0 with a nice goal in like the 83rd minute. That was really, really nice. But Fiorentina lost 3-0, and that was pretty brutal. I really, really thought that they should have won that game, but they just didn't have it. And that is also why you have to be careful with your parlays. So 1-1 for me. Technically, we lost nothing because my money line parlay was plus 103, and then the Serie A parlay was minus 103. So we gained technically 3 cents. It's not that great. But I am looking forward to what Drew has today. I have a ton of picks today. I kind of apologize. I went a little crazy, but I did do some research on the World Baseball Classic, whatever it is. And I'm excited to get into that because pitching rules. And if you haven't heard that before from me, you're going to hear it plenty of times today. Prince, what do you got for us today, though?
Yeah, so for today, I'll be honest, guys, I kind of ran out of time here before the show started. I tried to get my picks in as soon as possible. So I've only got a few picks for you guys. I'll give my looks in the NBA once we cover that, and maybe I'll make one of those plays official as well. But we're going to some lands, uncharted waters here in the soccer world for today. We're going to start with a two-leg parlay here. There's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff. So if you're listening to us live, you can get these plays in. Probably before kickoff. If not, this is going to be very much time sensitive. But in any case, it'll go towards our official record here for the show. We got 2 1 p.m. Eastern kickoffs here for the women's World Cup qualifying in the European region. We're going to start off here, again, 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff, where we have Spain, who's going to be hosting Iceland. Spain, of course, one of the most dominant teams, not just on the men's side, but in the women's side as well. They are just full of talent all over the pitch here. Very much a loaded side are Spain. However, Iceland can hold their own here. And what I'm looking at here in this one is going to be Iceland on a 4-goal spread. So Iceland +4. And we're looking at Iceland here. They have covered a +4 spread in 46 straight matches. So this is a very organized team in Iceland. They're very much a technically sound side here. They don't really get blown out, as we can see here by the numbers. And it's really hard to win a game by 5 goals. So although Spain is a very elite offensive side here, and they could put up goals at any point, I'm going to ride the trends here with Iceland. I think they're organized enough. I think they're defensive enough to keep this one within 4 goals. We're looking at Spain. They have not covered a -4 spread in 41 of their last 48 matches. So again, as great as Spain is, to the point here, it is really hard to win a game by 5 goals. So leg 1 of a 2-leg parlay here. I like Iceland +4 on the Asian spread. And we're going to parlay that with another match here. Now, this one's going to be a gross match, but I think we're going to find value here. It's going to be another 1 p.m. Eastern kickoff in the Women's World Cup European region. Liechtenstein going to be hosting Lithuania. I am going to be on Liechtenstein to cover a 4-goal spread here. Liechtenstein +4. Well, we're looking at Lithuania here. These are two really very much of bottom feeders in all of world football here, both on the men's and women's side, really. And so you're going to struggle to see a lot of goals typically when these two sides play against teams of I would say, equal low stature here. But what we're looking at here, when we're looking at Lithuania, they have not covered a -4 spread in 85 of their last 88 matches. So Lithuania, they just don't have the offensive talent to put in goals, as we can see here by the numbers. So although Liechtenstein is a really bad side here, Liechtenstein is god-awful, but I do think against a Lithuania side that is equally bad offensively, they can keep it within 4 goals. Again, it is really hard to win a game by 5+ goals in international football. So officially here, 2-leg parlay, Iceland +4. We're going to parlay that with Liechtenstein +4, and you're going to get that at +106 odds. I think that is a fantastic price here. Just asking two sides to not lose by 5 or more goals.
Yeah, I like it a lot here. And by the way, I see here on Bet365 that you can get the Iceland +4 at -120. Is that a separate look that you would also sprinkle on, or should we just parlay the piece and take the plus money?
Yeah, if you can get it at -120, I got it at a worse price. So the last I checked, but yeah, absolutely, -120 for Iceland +4. I would love that as an individual play as well. So I'd probably I'll go ahead and check here after the show. But if that's still available, I'll be on both the parlay and the individual play for Iceland.
Okay, yeah, playing it now. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're probably safe at +3 for 90% of soccer games,
Yeah,
95% of
absolutely,
soccer games. Getting that
absolutely.
+4 is just a steal. That's a great look, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like I said, it's really hard to win games by 5 or more goals, no matter who you're playing. So, yeah, I really like that a lot. And then next up here, we're gonna go to another waters uncharted here, a land less traveled, if you will. I'm gonna take a play here in the CONCACAF women's qualification here. We got a 6 p.m. Eastern kickoff down in the Caribbean, where we have Bermuda going to be hosting Costa Rica in this one. I like Bermuda here to cover a 4 goal slash 4.5 spread here. It's a combo play. You're going to get that at -110. Costa Rica, they come into this one winless in 14 of their last 15 matches. So, although Costa Rica should be a significantly better side than Bermuda, their current form would suggest they might not be as dominant as the line suggests here. And meanwhile, Bermuda on the other side, they are undefeated in 9 of their last 11 matches. Now, a lot of those matches have been against other Caribbean nations, so you can take that for what it is. But they will come into this one with a bunch of confidence here, while Costa Rica might be a little bit down on themselves here, not having won a match in 14 of their last 15. So I think both teams here come in here trending different direction. I think Bermuda's going to put up a fight at home. And again, it is really hard to win a game by 5 goals. So I like Bermuda +4, 4.5 here on a combo play on the Asian spread. And that one's going to be at -110.
Yeah, what are we doing here? Come on, guys. You got to give us better line or worse lines than that.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Well, that's the thing too about these qualification games where you have international matches, and especially when you're talking about a lot of these minnows. Look, you're going to find advantageous lines a lot of times in these on these matchups because one, they're not being heavily betted, so the lines are going to be more stabilized. And two, what do the books really know about Bermuda women's soccer, right? Let's just use them for an example, right? So you can look at all the numbers and the trends, but unless you actually see them play, it's going to be hard to kind of assess what kind of a team they really are. So I always like to attack it. Those of you who've been following me a lot, you guys know I call myself the international capper, the Caribbean capper. I love getting into the slums of international football, where you got minnows taking on minnows, because I think you can find a lot of really mispriced lines in those matchups, and you can make a lot of money on those. So this definitely qualifies as one of those matches, and I'll be all over being a +4 here on the Asian spread.
Yeah, that's excellent. And just so we're all on the same page here, I'm finding a lot of value on Bet365 more than the other books. So if you have that, I would look there first for these lines. Like I just
Yeah,
parlayed the +4.5, +4.5. I got -125 juice on your first parlay. And
yep,
I'm seeing +4, 4.25, which basically splits the +4 and the +4.5 at the same juice that you're talking about. So
yeah.
definitely look there first, man.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, officially, all my plays are from Bet365. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, cool. Anything else in the soccer world? Because I actually have a few plays for you today.
I don't, but I know one of your plays, and I'll have some comments on it after you give it out. But yeah, go ahead. What do you got for us?
I hope they're good.
TBD. Let's see. Go ahead. Teaser alert.
All right. This one is a full unit here. I have 3 soccer plays, 1 future, 2 for today. The first one is going to be in the EPL. I just love these lines. I know that you're going to like this one. I'm going to take AFC Bournemouth versus Brentford. Both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at -120 over an MGM. Pretty sure you can actually find this at -110 or -115 right now. But the both teams to score has cashed in the last 5 meetings against these two teams. BTTS has cashed individually 3 out of the last 5 for each of these teams. The money is all over the over, and yeah, so am I. I think that this is an excellent look. We're going to find a fast-flowing, free-flowing type of game where counterattacks are going to be abundant. Late goals are probably abundant. I wouldn't be surprised if there was 4 or 5 goals in this game. How do you like this one?
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a super solid look. Bournemouth, they score at home. They concede at home. Brentford, been scoring on the road regularly. Of course, they're coming off of that 4-3 thrilling win on the road against Burnley. And if I'm looking at their away form here, they've scored in 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 straight road games, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, you're talking about 8 of the last 10 on the road. Brentford have scored. So they're scoring pretty consistently on the road, are Brentford. And so, yeah, not to mention the head-to-head supports this as well. I think it's a really solid look.
Yeah, and also they're both middle of the table. They're both fighting. They're both looking to improve their positions. There's nothing to me to suggest that they're going to park the bus. Nothing.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. That's a great analysis, by the way, because that absolutely matters when you're looking at the table in their positions in the table. It makes a world of a difference as to how they're going to approach this game. So, to your point, they don't have anything to lose, so they should both go all out for it, really. And I think we're going to be in for a really fun, entertaining match in this one.
Yep. And then another fun entertainment match is going to be the second leg between Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid here. Now, I understand that this is going to be a controversial to some degree. Everybody's going to want to be on Barcelona, but I think that the value is actually on Atletico Madrid. Now, Atletico Madrid leads this game, the series 4-0, which was an embarrassing loss for Barcelona, but it also really highlighted some structural defensive problems for them. And we just saw this yesterday with Getafe versus Real Madrid, where Getafe didn't only cover the spread, but they won the game outright. And that was actually one of my pre-plays for the game. And I was a little too scared to put it on the show officially, but I played it. And it cashed. It cashed nicely. Now, I find it hard to believe that Barcelona is going to be able to pull out a huge win here. I think getting the +1.5 on Atletico Madrid at -136 is a gift of a line. This is only a half a unit because I'm nervous. Of course I'm nervous. I'm playing against Barcelona. But the last 3 times I bet on Barcelona, I've lost. So what am I going to do? Keep betting on them until it hits? They're missing key defensive fielders. They're missing a lot of people on the pitch. I don't see them really being able to pull off a 2-0 or 3-goal margin. I just don't see it. I really think that there's a lot of value here on Atletico Madrid. I don't mind the both teams to score over 2.5 there. Or even if you wanted to play the Barcelona team total over 1.5, I think those are all fine playable lines. But I think Atletico Madrid +1.5 at -136 offers the most value. All right, beat me over the coals here.
so you wondered if I was going to be on your side or against you, right? And I teased it. My verdict is I am on your side. I like it. I like Madrid +1.5. I think that's a solid play. I really do. I think Barcelona is this too all over the place right now. Very similar to Real Madrid. They're two teams. Oh, they just happen to be both in La Liga and both rivals and both monsters in Europe. But they're both super inconsistent right now. You really don't know what you're going to get from them on a game-to-game basis. So I'm with you. I find it hard to back Barcelona on anything right now, other than goals. Now, I will say the total last I checked, I think it was set at 4, which is just insane.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's not something that I can feel comfortable playing, although I do think there is probably a really good chance that hits. It's not something I'm willing to play pre-match. That's something maybe we'll look at live and try to get a better price on that one. But another play that I do like, along with your Madrid +1.5, I actually like Madrid just to score 2 goals here. I think you get that at plus money last I checked, around +120, 130. I think that's a great play as well because Barcelona, of course, they're going to be chasing a 4-goal deficit. Everyone who knows Barcelona knows the wide open Barcelona with that high line playing even more aggressive than they already do. That's just going to create chance after chance after chance for Atletico Madrid. So I do think Madrid over 1.5 goals here is a really solid play, and that's probably something that I'm going to be giving out officially here on the VIP channel.
Yeah, honestly, if you are against us on the show and you wanted to hedge again, BTTS both teams to score and over 2.5 goals is probably a really sharp look. So you don't have to worry about who scores that 3rd goal. You can just root for goals from everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And then another thing that we talked about before about like live bets and matches that to look at in terms of, getting value on live plays. This again is one of those matches where everything over is a little bit too juiced right now. But if we do happen to go, 15, 20 minutes and it's scoreless, I would absolutely look at first half overs, game total overs, team total overs. I would look at all those overs because you can bet your bottom dollar this thing is not ending. I would say below 2 goals personally. Maybe even more. That's just being modest, but you're going to see goals in this game. So the longer it goes scoreless, take a look at those overs.
Yeah, you're going to also want to look out to see how aggressive Barcelona is and how well Atletico Madrid can park the bus. That's really what the name of the game is.
Yeah,
Atletico Madrid does not want to get into a shooting contest here. They do not. They just want to keep the ball, bleed the time, see how they're not really going to counterattacking. Now they will counterattack if left open the opportunity, but I don't.
Well,
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
no, sorry, no, you're exactly right. But I think Barcelona, their aggressiveness is going to dictate the tempo of the game, in my opinion. So I do think that because Barcelona is going to be pushing so high, it's naturally going to create chances for Atletico to push. And also, I don't think Atletico. Maybe if this was Atletico from 5 years ago, they could sit on a lead here and just kind of knock the ball around and play defensive. But this is not the same Atletico team from years past that were just grinding out 1-0 wins. So this is still a very much an offensive-minded Atletico team. And so if you present them with opportunities to score, they're not going to be conservative about it. And anyone who knows Barcelona knows that Barcelona does have enough firepower. If there was any team that could come back from a 4-0 deficit, Barcelona would absolutely be one of those teams. So I don't think Madrid's going to come to this one, necessarily 100% feeling safe per se. And so if they're presented opportunities, I do expect them to go for it for sure.
Yeah, and in the baseball world, even if you were facing a depleted Yankees team, you're still going up against one of the best. Historically, just hard to really count a team like that out. All right.
Yep.
I got one more play for you. It's a Champions League look ahead line, and this is really based on what we saw from Real Madrid yesterday. I don't trust them. I can't trust them. I don't think that they have it in them to really defend properly, and they're going to be playing Man City in the first leg in the next round of the Champions League. This is going off on the 9th, so next week, I believe. I'm going to take Man City team total over 1.5 here at -113. I think that this line moves dramatically from where it is right now, and I'm going to take an early line here. Again, this is just a half a unit for now. I might upgrade it to a full unit, but in general, I'm only playing a half unit on my Champions League plays anyway, just so that I can get a little extra value and bet live. But there's nothing to tell me from this Real Madrid side. They're broken. I don't know how Man City with their offensive proneness. Now, I get it. They're not the same team that they were last year, the year before that, or the year before that, I should say. But I do think that they have enough to rock Real Madrid, and I like them on the money line at +140. I love them on the team total over 1.5 at -113.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I haven't really done my Champions League next round research as of yet. So I'd have to dig into the numbers a little bit more here before I can give a more of a solid angle. But to correct me if I'm wrong, Man City is at home in that one, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah,
Although
at
it is
home,
confusing because some books have them flipped, and I'm still trying to figure out which team is flipped when on which books. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I know. No, it really is. You're 100% right about that. It's pretty annoying, actually.
I'm pretty sure that they're at home.
They do tend to mess that up a lot.
Just for our listeners
Absolutely
to
right.
understand, in American sports, right? And I'm sorry that if this is, I think they call it mansplaining, but in American sports, the home team is always second. They're always on the bottom, right? In European sports, the home team is always first on the top. Now, some books in America have flipped it so that you feel more comfortable, so that the home team is always on the bottom, and other books don't do that. So
yeah, all it does is make me feel more uncomfortable. To be
It
honest,
makes more sense when it's on the bottom.
Yeah,
for
it's
you
right.
as an American,
Yeah.
Well, no, the reason
Yeah.
why I'm obviously saying as American, because there's certain things that on the European side they do better. But if you think about it, it's the bottom makes more sense because it's this team at this team. Does that make sense?
I
Yeah,
hear it.
that's how I see it. Yeah,
I hear it. And sorry, Drew, you've been on the sidelines for long enough. We're
Oh,
gonna run it right through the
you're good. I just
podcast.
been working on the side, so that works out.
Yeah, we all have I should say real jobs. This is hopefully will be a main job eventually, but we're not quite
Hopefully.
monetized yet.
Who knows? Got to start somewhere. Yep.
All right, Prince. In the world of soccer, anything else?
No, not really. Not for tonight. Like I said, I'll have some more looks for some other international matches later on. But yeah, other than that, I think that's gonna be pretty much it for today for football, soccer.
Okay, I do have one more lean, not an official play. I decided against it, but I really like the Wolves on the spread as well. But the Wolves, it's hard to know what you're going to get for them on any given day. But I think that the value is there in terms of if you're looking for value on picks, I think that the line's there.
I hear you. Yeah,
Can't
go ahead. Go ahead.
like you said, I can't. I didn't have enough confidence to even put a half a unit on it. But again, you're just looking at value on the lines. I think that the value's there.
I agree with you. I think there is value on the line. But for me personally, I'm not touching anything Wolves right now. I have no idea. I have no idea who they are, what their objectives are. Just when you think they suck, they end up winning a game and scoring 2 goals against Aston Villa. And so they have been more competitive recently. So if there were to be a side, if I were going to play the spread, I would be on your side here, on the Wolves side, just because they have been in a little bit better form recently. But who for me, I'll stay away from it, but I'll be rooting for you hardcore.
I haven't
I've
played it
got my
yet. I
pom
haven't
poms
played it
out.
yet. Honestly, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for a live line for them to go down 1-0 early, and then I'm going to try to take a better spread on them because they have
Yeah,
been
I think
playing
that's
decent
solid.
defensively.
They
If
have
they
been.
lose by 1 or 2, that's fine. I would still
Yeah,
like to
they're
play that.
yeah, no doubt about it. Their problems are offensively. Defensively, they have been very much improved over the last several games. Like I said, they're just one of the lowest scoring teams. Actually, they are the lowest scoring team in the EPL. So, but they've been putting up goals lately. So, yeah, I mean, if like I said, if I were to lean toward the side, I'd definitely take the Wolves side. But they've bitten me too much. I'm gonna pun intended. I'm gonna be out on them.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring in Drew. We've had him on the sidelines long enough. I'm very interested to see what he has for college basketball today. Drew, what do you got for us,
Yeah,
man?
yeah, for sure. Something I will say though, yesterday, also, I was able to get, of course, a couple other lines, but on here where we, like Stern said, what we post and say, that's where always going to recap with you. You can always look for other stuff that you see that, of course, I'm not able to post quite yet, but we have a lot of games today. Something I am going to teach people is college basketball, and I think we can all agree, and I think it's 100%. Is the one sport where we're going to have the most games in one day. It's by far. There's no other sport like college basketball in that way, where there's going to be this many sports in one day that you really would want to bet on. I know you can say college baseball. Even college baseball is a little more spread out, in my personal opinion, because college basketball, there's 300 plus division schools. So almost every school has some kind of
Yeah,
basketball team.
I was just
So
gonna say
you're
that.
yeah, like almost
I was
every
gonna
single
say,
school has it.
I was just gonna say, when you have 360 teams in your league, yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna have the most chance to have
Oh yeah.
most games per day.
Yeah, and something with that, guys, is you're gonna be overwhelmed. Like people are gonna want to bet on a lot of games, but the key, what I do to discipline myself, is I will scroll through the games, whether it's on my sports betting app or stuff, and just say in my head, like, "Oh, I'm not interested," not interested, and then I'll just look for certain games that I'm interested in, teams I know, right? Like if I'm scrolling Tennessee or South Carolina, yeah, it's a ranked game. I don't like either of those teams. I don't care about those other teams. And then I look at mid majors. I know that's the key. You need to scroll yourself, discipline yourself to 2 or 3 picks, which I like to do. It can be overwhelming. You'll think like, oh, this team should definitely beat this team. Do your research, and that's what I do personally. So that's my overall take on that for smart betting on college basketball before I go to my picks.
That's a really smart way to go around any sport, because even
Yeah.
if you only have 5-10 games, let's say in the NBA or NHL, it could get overwhelming. I get overwhelmed and I try to cover all the sports. And I know that's not necessarily the smartest strategy, but what you just said is really valuable. And honestly, how I try to look at it as well. I think that's really smart.
Oh yeah, for sure, exactly. And also after I say my picks, guys, feel free to ask me if you have any questions about your college basketball picks or certain teams. Just because I go past them doesn't mean I
Yeah,
don't
I
have a
definitely
say.
have a question on this TCU Texas Tech, but let's get to
Oh yeah.
your best bets first.
Yep. So my first one, I know I mentioned this in our chat. This Alabama line, I'm glad I waited a little bit, and I'm gonna lock it in now. They're -110 on the money line. This opened Alabama +2.5. It was a very suspicious line, personally. Alabama's been on a roll. If anybody knows, they won I think 9 of their last 10 games. They're still trying to fight for second place so they can get a double bye, and then they can also have a good chance to, possibly win the tournament. I think they're still fighting for pretty good seeding there in the tournament, no matter what. But this team, like, they just beat Tennessee at home, and if you look at their past games, like, it's been very impressive. I know they've beaten on some pretty bad teams like Mississippi State, LSU, South Carolina, and Ole Miss, but they've beaten some good teams like A&M. The only teams they've lost to in the 9 out of their last 10 that they won was Florida, which is never ashamed to lose to Florida. Now they're going to a Georgia team. That personally, in my opinion, isn't a bad team. They're pretty good. They've been doing pretty good lately. They beat South Carolina home, which they're not a great team. They lost to Vanderbilt, but then they beat Texas. They beat Kentucky. Lost to Oklahoma. They're just a team, in my opinion. I don't. They have the offense to keep up with Alabama, but I don't think they have the defense as well. I know Alabama gets slack for having bad defense, but they're not as bad as people think just because they play so fast. And Georgia does too. I know some people may want the over for the 179, but give me Alabama the better team. I know some people may say the line looks suspicious, but I think this is more of a Michigan State versus Indiana kind of don't overthink kind of look where it's like, hey, Alabama's a better team. If Georgia wins, oh well, I know I made the right read. I'll live by it. That's my first pick.
I absolutely love this pick. And yeah, you're right. It was a suspicious line. Alabama is a beast, and getting points on the road to open the line, that was a little bit weird. And yeah, you can get the money line right now at -110. And
They're
honestly,
also 7-2 on the road.
yeah, this is a slam dunk of a play here.
Yeah, and it's just sometimes guys you have to live and die by the right read.
Sorry.
Yeah, you have to live and die by the right read. That's what I always say. It's just like if Georgia wins, then good for them. Like I know I made the right read, especially for a line like that. I'm not
Yeah.
overthinking it. And then the other one, I'm not going to overthink. It's -2.5 now. West Virginia at Kansas State. I would still take -2.5. I got a -1.5. Oh, it looks like K State is getting steam again because it was -2.5 from -115. Now it's -2.5 at -110. But West Virginia just got a big win against BYU at home. They're 17-12 and they're still on the bubble. This is key, guys. Look for teams that are still on the bubble. Because if you're still on the bubble, then you want to, try to win as many games as you can before the conference tournaments. Because if West Virginia loses this game to Kansas State, they're probably going to have to win the Big 12 tournament. And if you don't know the Big 12 guys, they're not winning the Big 12 tournament. They're not going to go through Arizona, Iowa State, Texas Tech, Kansas, all the above. Like I know people may say like, oh, Kansas doesn't need it, Texas Tech doesn't need it, the tournament, but they'll still try in the tournament very well. Be very slim chance. So West Virginia needs to win this game. They were told they're on the bubble. They can't lose to Kansas State, who has been probably next to Utah the worst team in the Big 12. Kansas State fired the coach not so long ago. Kansas State, I believe, also they have a winning record at home, but recently they have not been really good at home. The last home win they had was against Baylor, who I don't really consider a good team. The last game they played was at home against TCU, and I'm pretty sure that was like a short spread too, and TCU was pretty much dominating the whole game. So West Virginia needs this win. I don't mind taking the -2.5 either. I know West Virginia is a scary team because they generally play slow and the game can be close, but I think West Virginia wins this game by double digits personally, and they need to because their next game after this, I believe their last game is at home on senior night against UCF. So yeah. I don't know if you guys have any takes on that before I go to my last pick.
Oh, I'm just on mute. Yeah, I love this play a lot. You can get this -2.5 at -110 over on MGM. If you want to pare it down, you can get -120 on the -1. So I'm just going to take it at the least possible juice.
And that's one possession still a -2.5, guys, by the way. You'll see that in college a lot. 3.5, into 5.5 is like two possession because, so I like 1.5 and 2.5. 3.5 can be scary because that's two possessions. So, yeah.
Yeah, listen to the man. The man's talking to you. Listen to him.
Yep, exactly. And then something I will another one that I'll say some before I go to my last pick. I'll say some other pieces that I am looking at, not official yet, but some good like parlay pieces. Miami, Ohio is facing Toledo. I think the spread is too short. Also, there looks like Skaljak's going to play their star point guard, which is really good because he went down for injury last game. And Miami, Ohio is in desperation mode still because I disagree with it, but they're 29-0 and they're still at risk of not making the tournament unless they win their conference tournament. I personally think if they win these next two games, their final two games of the season, they should be in no matter what. If they go 31-0, they beat this Toledo team at Toledo and by a lot. And this is actually when they faced Toledo the last time, like way back then. I think it was like beginning of January. This was like the first start of like, oh crap, they're undefeated kind of thing started. And then they demolished Toledo when they were plus money. Anytime I see Miami, Ohio, by the way, play these kind of close games like West Virginia, like I mean Western Michigan, they generally will blow out the team the next round. So I like Miami to win this game. And another team that's on the bubble is UC. If UCF should be in the tournament, but if they lose this game to Oklahoma State, they could be around the bubble. And I think UCF should beat Oklahoma State. So those are a couple like parlay pieces you
All
guys
right.
can
All
look
right,
at.
wait. I just put them in, plugged them in. You can get Miami, Ohio, halftime, full time, plus UCF money line at -109 right now on DK. Is that an official play, or not to pressure you into it, but is that a good play here?
Oh, that's a good play. I probably won't make it official for me, but you can view for sure. Personally, I like what you did there. I like Miami, Ohio halftime full time over UCF halftime full time.
You don't
Even
even
though I
need
think
UCF
UCF,
halftime, full time. Just the straight up money line on UCF and Miami, Ohio halftime, full time.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I like how you did it there.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna put a quarter unit on that, and I'm gonna watch it play out.
yeah, yeah, because those are two teams that are. Let's look at desperate teams, and then my last pick. Personally, this team is like deep to my heart because deep to my heart, San Diego State. I don't know if you guys saw, but they got absolutely screwed by the refs in their last game, and it could cost them a chance at an at-large bid, at-large bid possibly. But it was such a close game, so the voters may look at it differently. But USF was facing New Mexico at the pit; they were only down by one, and then with 35 seconds left, New Mexico inbounded the ball and then San Diego State trapped him, and then it went. So then the ball went out of bounds. They called it off San Diego State. San Diego State challenged it, and you see the replay. You guys should look it up. It's the most ridiculous thing you'll see call wise. It clearly never touched an SDSU player, and it clearly went off the New Mexico player. And they gave New Mexico ball, and they could at least cover it, or they at least could have won the game down one, and then it ended up like a 5-6 point game. So it's very unfortunate. So I really like SDSU +1.5 at Boise State. If you guys don't remember the last time these guys played, I think it was like the second game of conference play back in December or whatever. It was probably the game of the year. Where San Diego State was up 24 at home, and then Boise State came back to tie it, and then Boise State blew a lead, and San Diego State sent it to overtime, uh, and then San Diego State blew a lead, and Boise State sent it to a second overtime, and the Boise State blew another lead, fouled a 3-point shooter, and they got a 4-point play to win the game. So it was a crazy game, but I like SDSU on the final game. I don't care if it's senior night for Boise State. I'm taking SDSU. They need this win. They're still fighting for a share of first place if Utah State wins tonight, and they want the second seed as well in the tournament. I'm taking this risk. I'm going to back them up. Give me SDSU +1.5 over Boise State.
Now, is this an official play for you, or just a
Yes.
lean?
No,
Okay.
it's official play.
All right.
I know it may be scary at Boise State.
No,
And
listen, man. You say it's an official play, I'm playing it. That's it.
yeah,
End of story, man.
I think Boise State still. Well, I think SDSU still has a chance for an at-large bid because of how close the New Mexico game was, and they're 19-9. They actually have the best, I think, non-conference strength of schedule, and out of the Mountain West Conference because they had to face like it was like the teams they had to face was like Auburn, Michigan, Arizona. Like, I mean, I don't blame them for having those three losses on their resume. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
and I
yeah.
honestly I love that you're on SDSU because when all the games are pretty much done and you're looking at a 10 o'clock p.m. and you're like, all right, what am I doing? Am I watching hockey? Am I watching this, basketball, whatever? They're always on and they're always exciting.
Oh,
Always.
SDSU is such a fun team to watch. They don't have like one star, but they have a bunch of really good players in depth. Something that I love about them. There's a guy I want you to look out for if you got anybody watches this game. His name is Miles Bird. He is the best shot blocking guard in the nation, and he just plays hard. And then Dixon Waters is just a baller. He can just shoot from anywhere. He's just very smooth and fluid, like and fluid. They have depth across the board. Brian Dutcher is a great coach too for SCSU. If you guys know Brian Dutcher, he made it to the championship game one of the UConn years. It's just when UConn had like Klingon and Cruz, so they got demolished. So yeah.
Nice. All right, let's move it along. Anything else on college basketball before we move onward to the NBA and Prince of Picks?
No, I didn't know if you had any questions though for college.
You know what? Yeah, real quick, just because we're really running late on time. We had a failed show, or I shouldn't say failed show, but a failed recording that didn't really work because of technical issues. But I really wanted to hear your take on what was it? The TCU Texas Tech game. That's the
Yeah,
one that's going to be probably the marquee matchup tonight.
Yeah, so there's something I will say about that game is because of course I look into the Big 12 games. Um, so TCU is a very tough, gritty team. Texas Tech, even without Toppin, their best player, has been playing amazing. Ever since he got injured the Arizona State game, they've won 3 straight games. They beat Kansas State 100-72, beat Cincinnati 80-68 after Cincinnati just beat Kansas, and then they went to Hilton and beat Iowa State 82-73. But if you look at TCU as well, something about TCU is their struggles have been, unfortunately, their offense has been off and on. But TCU has won about 3 in a row. They did beat Kansas State, they beat Arizona State, and they beat West Virginia. So this is one of those games where I think it's a 10.5 spread. That can be kind of scary, especially since TCU usually keeps it in within single digits. But something I would say in that game personally that I think is a good look. I feel like 148 points, especially in Lubbock, may be too many points for this game, especially the way these two teams play, in my personal opinion. I know Texas Tech has been lighting up the scoreboard, but TCU is a very gritty team and likes to slow down teams. So
I like that look a lot, actually. And I was
yeah.
kicking myself for not taking Texas Tech like -6.5 or -7 when it opened. And now I'm on the other side on
Oh, it's
TCU.
8.5 now. Oh my bad.
Oh, I got plus 10.5 on TCU this morning because I just thought that was
Oh yeah.
way too much line movement. But I
Oh
like
yeah,
that
I
under,
agree.
actually.
Oh yeah.
I really
No, I
do.
would say yeah, 10.5 plus 10.5 is good, and now TCU gains steam, so you got it at the right time.
Yeah. Well, I kicking myself that I didn't just get both plays.
I just don't see how this game goes. I may be wrong, of course, because over-unders in college are so weird, but I don't see how this game personally goes in the 148s because when TCU plays teams like a Texas Tech, right? Good example, Iowa State versus TCU was 62 to 55, right? Houston versus TCU was like 79-70. Technically, that would cover. But the Kansas game, you can't really count because I went to overtime. But like if you look at some of their games, they have games that are like 60-54, 77-68. So yeah.
Yeah, I love it. All right, Prince, let's bring you in for NBA. I shouldn't just say basketball because we're discussing basketball. And again, I apologize. We're really going a little bit late here, but we have an exciting slate tonight, and I have a few plays here that I'm interested to hear your position on. But I'm going to hand you the floor first. What can we expect tonight? Is there any games that we should be looking out for? And do you have any leans?
Yeah, I do. I think actually tonight is a really fun slate of games. I think there's a lot of advantageous positions here that we can find in terms of from a betting angle here. But a few games that I'm looking at in particular, I really like the Orlando Magic team total over 121.5, taking on the Wizards. The Wizards have been one of the worst defenses, if not the worst defense in all of the association here over the last several weeks, really over the duration of the season, to be honest. And teams have just been hitting their team total overs on a regular basis against the Wizards. So it doesn't matter what team it is, they just seem to find a way to cover that total. So I like Orlando here over 121.5 against the Wizards. I also like the Miami Heat here on a team total over 119.5 against the Brooklyn Nets. Again, Miami at home is a different team, and I think that tempo is just going to create a lot of scoring opportunities for Miami here. They're going to get a lot of buckets in against a Brooklyn team that has been giving up a lot of points. They were on a stretch there where they were playing good defense, but that has since gone. They really struggle to score as well. The tempo, though, that might lead to a little bit more offensive opportunities for Brooklyn, so I'll stay away from any game totals, but I do think Miami over 119.5 is a solid look. And then another play here, Pelicans at the Lakers. Lakers play no defense. I'm on the game total over 239.5. I think we see a lot of points in this one. We typically do when these two teams play each other. Neither team, in that matter, actually really plays any defense. And I would sprinkle a little bit on the Pelicans money line. Zion usually has big games against LA. He's averaging 26 points per game when in LA. So the bright lights of Los Angeles, Hollywood seems to bring out the best in Zion. So I do expect him to have a pretty good game tonight in La La Land. And I think points are going to be fast and furious here in this one. So love the over in that one. Other looks here, leans if you want. Thunder, I think they crushed the Bulls tonight. I don't think the Bulls have much of a chance at all. Last I checked, I got that in at minus 10.5 for the Thunder. I think that one should cover, although it is a big spread. I'm hesitant taking double-digit spreads, but I think in this one we should be pretty safe. Bulls have been reeling, other than their crazy comeback win against Milwaukee the other night. But apart from that, they were actually winless in the entire month of February. So the Bulls are another team incentivized to lose here, and they're absolutely on the tankathon standings here are the Bulls. Other than that, everything else is just going to be leans. I like the Spurs here at the Sixers. I think they're just a better team. I like the Suns team total over Sacramento. Sacramento, another one of these teams that doesn't play defense. Suns team total is currently at 118.5. I know the Suns struggle to score at times, but when you got these teams that don't play any defense, teams just find ways to score because it's just matador defense out there. So those are some kind of looks and angles that I'm looking at. What do you got for us?
Well, that's a relief. Because again, we don't really discuss plays. Sometimes in our chat, I'll be like, "Hey guys, what do you think about this?" But more often than not, we're just going with what our own research says. So yeah, I have the Spurs beating the Sixers. I think they're mad. I think they're really mad
100%.
against
100%.
losing embarrassingly to the Knicks. They were on a really nice winning streak here. And Joel Embiid is out. So I don't really see Maxey being able to carry this team on his own, and no one to defend Wemby. So I'm gonna take
Wemby to the moon. Yeah, Wemby to the moon, no doubt.
So I took this last night. The line has moved significantly, but if you can still find -7 out there. I took the Spurs -6.5 at -125 for a full unit on ESPN. The score, whatever they want to call themselves. I have to figure that out. What do I want to call them? But I think that's phenomenal value. I think that they beat them by double digits here, and I don't think Philadelphia keeps it close, even though they are at home. And they're a little sneaky. They're a sneaky team. I like the Sixers, but I don't think that they're going to be able to keep it close tonight. Then my other NBA play here is a 2-leg parlay, and I've had some success with this. I'm going to jinx myself here. OKC -4.5 parlay with the Miami Heat -6.5. And what you said was right. I don't think that the Bulls can keep it close, and I don't think the Nets can keep it close. So getting -116 for a reduced spread with both of these teams, I think offers significant value. I love this play. I also love the Spurs play. I really just saw too many valuable plays today, and that's why I have like 8 plays.
Yep, no doubt about it. Riding with you, brother. I'm right there with you.
All right, and just because we're really, really running out of time, I'm just going to go through my hockey play real quick. We're going to switch to the NHL. Unless, Drew, do you have any real quick thoughts on the NBA before we move on? All right, NHL, man.
Oh, sorry, I was talking to myself.
Oh, it's all good. I do it all the time. With or without
there was only one NBA play I was interested in, but I already dropped like 3 points, so probably not going to do it. It was the under for the Memphis game. It was at 40 and it was at 340. I mean 240.5. 340, but it was at 240.5, and now it's at 237.5. I'm probably not going to do it now because that's a big drop. But I think both defense. It honestly is, because if you look at it, yes, Memphis has given up, but they actually been playing pretty good defense lately, and the Timberwolves play really good defense. Both teams aren't really running gun type teams, so I feel like that could be too many points. But
yeah. So you know what I would do if I was the listener right now? I would put $1 on the 238.5, and then I would track it live to see if you can get a better number live.
Yeah,
I think that's a good.
That's what I'm probably going to look at, honestly.
Okay, yeah, for sure. I'm in on that. Let's do it. And just in case the listeners don't know, Drew is on fire with his NBA leans. He can't make them official plays because then they'll lose. But as long as they're leans,
exactly.
I have definitely been there before. All right, moving on to the NHL. There is an exciting slate. Again, I already mentioned I love the Stars tonight on the money line, juiced a little bit. So I'm going to pivot to the Florida Panthers. I've been watching them. they're pretty good for now. Listen, they're pretty good, and especially compared to the New Jersey Devils, who have not been very good. It's just really what it comes down to. The my favorite metric here to look at is GSA X, goals saved above expected here. Now, what this metric was really tracking here is how well does a team restrict the opponent's high danger shots? New Jersey Devils, terrible. Florida, pretty good. And if you're looking at their last 5 games here, Florida has only been blown out once, while New Jersey has been blown out 3 of their last 5 games. And they only won against the St. Louis Blues, who are on track to have their worst finish in the last 2 decades. They're easily a bottom 5 team. I love the Panthers to win here. And I think getting a road price at -110 is a gift of a line. I'm going to hammer this. When I say hammer, I'm just taking it 1 unit. I don't really hammer more than 1 unit. But yeah, any thoughts here? I'm confused by this line, and I'm even more confused that the line hasn't moved. All right.
I have no thoughts for that.
Yeah, go for it.
I have no thoughts for that. Yeah, I agree with you with like the Panthers thing. If anything for this game, the thing that interests me is between the Panthers and Devils is I don't see how there's more than 5 goals scored in this game personally. I feel like it'll be a pretty like low scoring game in my opinion, but I definitely agree with you on your side with that part for the Panthers.
Hey, listen, to your point, the last 5 games for the Devils, which, by the way, they've only won the last game against the Blues. They've lost the 4 previous games before that, but you don't have one game you only have one game going over 4 points, 4 goals. And that was a 1-4 loss to Pittsburgh. So, yeah, to your point, I do like the under as well. Although the Panthers are kind of tricky. Their defense is a little bit
Yeah,
all
that's
over the
what would
place.
scare me from the away is like they're either going to score 2 goals or like 5 goals or something.
Yeah, maybe a New Jersey Devils team total under might be in play here instead of just trying to figure out who scored, trying to figure out if the Panthers are going to show up or not. But I do like them to get the win here at the very least. But yeah, I'm just going to skip over the rest of the hockey slate. I know that there are a few other spots that I really
Oh, I
did
do have
like.
official play.
What?
I'm gonna do it.
All right, I'll play with you. By the way, our leans yesterday in that Flyers game, both the under hit and the Flyers one. So our leans are pretty solid. The other ones that I really like here, Dallas, I already mentioned. Colorado Avalanche, you can get that at -145 right now against Anaheim. I think that's a really good value spot right there. And then there was one other play. Let me find it. All right, I can't find it. Let's move on. All right, so I did want to talk about the World Classic Baseball, World Baseball.
Oh no, I'm
Classic.
saying I had official play for hockey.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go for it, man. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I know last time I did a hockey one, it covered for an under. It was like, I'm going to do this. I saw it. It's -130, but I'll still take it. Give me the over. I'm going to do it. Give me over 6.5. Oilers Senators. Where's the defense in this game? Oilers in the last 9 games have averaged almost 5 goals per game, and they've also almost averaged giving up 5 goals per game. If you guys didn't see that Sharks Oilers game, that was one of the best games I've seen this year. But I do not see any defense in this game between the Senators and Oilers. Like the Oilers' goaltending has been terrible. The Senators are capable of scoring. I can see 8 or 9 goals in this game. Give me the over 6.5.
Yeah, I'm in on this play. That's a really good look, and I completely agree with you. The Oilers have been an over machine in their last 5 games. Every single game has gone over. That I just dropped the mic there right there. The Oilers,
Yeah,
just
and
can't
they
play
also have a
defense.
goalie issue that they're not going to solve anytime soon.
Yeah, and they can score. It's not like they can't score. They have amazing pieces, but they can't play defense. So yeah, over is definitely there, and there's a reason why it is juiced. Yeah, Prince, what's up?
Yeah, so real quick, just got to give a live bet alert here that we gave out before the show started, actually, so it's not really relevant to the show. But we just hit on Kazakhstan, Armenia over 2.5. We hit that live just now. That just went final. So we also cashed out on the Kazakhstan, Armenia first half, over half a goal. So we're crushing it already in women's World Cup qualifying. So yeah, I just had to get that out
Yeah,
there.
and you can find those plays where, Prince?
Yeah, you can find those plays over on my X profile. That's at PrinceOfPicks10, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. At PrinceOfPicks10 is where all those plays are going to be posted.
Yeah, he gave me a nice little membership there, and I've been following along. It is nice to wake up to a 2-0 morning before the betting day even started. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Let's let the good times roll. Keep it going. We got a lot more going on today.
Yes, we do. Now, for the World Classic Baseball, I am World Baseball Classic. I don't know why I wrote it wrong in my notes, and it's just going to mess me up for the rest of the day until I fix it. But there is one thing that I have stressed above all else, and that is pitching, pitching, pitching. Now, there are a few rule changes that are going to be going on in the World Baseball Classic, and that is going to be first of all, you can have 2 reviews of any umpire play that you want. They're going to be introducing that. That's going to be a really interesting seeing how that works in the World Baseball Classic is going to be really interesting to me, and I can't wait for them to bring it into the MLB proper. The other is a pitch limit. There's a max that you're going to be able to pitch for pitchers here. In the first round, it's 65 pitches for each pitcher. The quarterfinals is going to be 80, and the championship is 95. Now, if you're in the middle of a bet, they're going to let you finish the at bat. That's fine. But there's also a mandatory rest day. So if you're pitching more than 30 pitches, you need at least 1 day of rest. If you're pitching 50 or more, you need 4 days of rest. And if you're going back to back, you automatically, even if it's under 30 pitches, you need 1 day of rest. So having depth is even more crucial than normal. And we know that pitching and defense wins games, especially late in October for the MLB, and especially here for the World Baseball Classic. So yes, there are a lot of exciting teams here, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, but if you don't have the pitching depth, I just don't see how you're going to make it very far, right?
That favors USA.
Yes, and that brings me into a bet that I really didn't want to make because I don't think that the value's there. But by golly, I'm going to take the USA to win champion at -110. I'm going to put a half unit
That's
on
great
this.
value.
I think that if you wanted to get better value, you can do the winner without market at +250, I want to say, on Japan. I think that's a good value, but I'm just going to take the chalk. I'm going to take USA -110. Again, this is not a value play. This is a terrible value play, in fact. But I think they get it done. They have easily the best depth. They shored up their only problem, which was their pitching. The other best bet that I have here is going to be, well, I have 2 technically. One is to qualify from Pool A. You can find this on DK. I link Canada to qualify at +100 at a half unit. I think they're actually live, and I sprinkled on this myself to win the pool at +330. I think it's Mexico. I have to double check. I forget exactly. I did write it down at some point. But Canada's only problem is that they keep facing Mexico or the USA, and they just can't get past them. But they have a really solid team here. I don't see why we're getting so much value on them to just make it to the second round. And sorry, it's Puerto Rico, who is solidly a team, but they don't have the depth that Canada does. And I think it's a really good look to take Canada at +100 just to make it. So they can come in first or second. And then again, I sprinkled on the +330 for them to win Pool A. And then the last bet that I had here was an exacta finish in Pool B. USA to finish first, Mexico to finish second. Now, the juice is at -220, right? So what I did was I took the Miami Heat money line and the Oklahoma City Thunder money line, and I parlayed all that together at -106. So if you're listening to this and those games have already passed, I love this exacta. USA to finish 1, Mexico to finish 2. Parlay it with whatever you want, whatever you feel safe with. It's not too much juice for you to be able to just do something stupid and pull it down so that you can actually play this. I think USA is rightfully the best team, and Mexico is always right behind them. So I think that's really good value there. You guys have any thoughts on this?
Yes. I did some research and I looked this up. Don't let it deter you. But so Webb and Skeens are pitching to Rage in the tournament but Scooble is only going to pitch one game, and he's during poll play, and then he's returning back to Detroit, so he's not going to pitch for the elimination rounds. Which I'm still, I'm still willing to take that, but they did release the starting kind of rotations. Webb is pitching the first game of pool play, then it's Scooble, then it's Skeens, and then it's Nolan McLean. So looks like Webb's going to be the first starter. And then they also they released they released the games, of course, of who they're playing. Webb is going to be facing Brazil. Sewell's going to be facing Great Britain. Skeens is going to be facing Mexico. And Nolan McLean's going to be facing Italy. So they said that Skeens is only going to do 2 starts, but honestly, that's probably the most he can do anyways, because elimination round is probably each pitcher will get like 1 start. So so it looks like they're not going to have Scooble for the elimination round, but they do have a stacked amount of relievers like that I saw. Like if you look at USA's relievers, they're absolutely insane. I think they have the biggest depth of relievers. They may not have like the best of the best, but their depth is insane with how many relievers they have.
Yeah, and that's honestly where most of my analysis came from, is who has the pitching depth to really make it through just the first or second round. And that's all I care about, because if you can't use your stars, doesn't matter how good they are, you can't use them. They're useless. Yeah, Prince, what's up?
Yeah, so I don't have anything baseball related. Of course, I always defer to the two of you for everything baseball related. But just as a general kind of tip here, and I've talked about this before with other cappers and other people who have been subscribers of mine for a while. One way to kind of boost odds without using an actual promo or anything, and I'm thinking about your USA play, for example. That's what are they, minus 110, minus
You
115
can get it anywhere
to
from
win it
minus
all?
115 to minus 105. Yeah.
Okay, right. So, a kind of an unorthodox way to boost that, if you're interested in that, something I always do if I have an intended bet and I want to get it to plus odds, or even I just want to increase the value of it, is I'll play that bet and I will parlay it, and I will look at the boxing slate. I'll go to the boxing tab and I'll look at fighters who are minus 2,500 or more favorites. Those fighters win over 95% of the time, and especially when you're talking about boxing. There's less variables in terms of the talent disparity between the two fighters, and so when you have a minus 2,500, it's very, very, very rare that they're going to lose, because there's just less variables going into it, and so that's something that I always do. You'll find like minus 5,000, minus 6,000. You're gonna have to parlay a few legs, but it is over a 95% hit rate that those fighters win. And that's just kind of like I said, like an unorthodox way that I always do. I do it on a regular basis every week. Most of the boxing fights happen on Saturdays, and so you won't get paid out until those fights are over. But it's just a way to kind of boost your odds, and it's something I've been doing for years, and I've had a lot of success for. So just wanted to get that
Yeah,
out.
I love it. I used to do that with college basketball until it started burning me. But yeah, boxing is
Well,
probably a
that's
little
see that.
safer.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the difference. In college basketball, there's more variables. You're counting on an entire team, right? And so injury. Maybe the guys don't have it. Maybe your star player is sick, and
100%.
he, what I'm saying. There's so
Power of the
many
three
variables
ball
in team
pace,
sport.
it's
How,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
you're you're you're
I
not
wasn't
shooting the same,
criticizing
right?
100%. I agree with you that boxing
No,
is
no,
a
no.
much more stable.
Yes. One on
I guess
on
I was
one,
just
but
wording the
It's similar
specifically,
to
the
tennis. So when back in the day, I know if you saw Roger Federer facing somebody in the first round, he's gonna win. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, similar to that, but I almost think just on another level, because when you're talking about combat sports fighting, uh, there's less things that can get in the way, barring a freak injury, which you guys know, those who watch boxing, it's very rare that you'll see an injury. Now, of course, you do have stoppages due to maybe a eye injury or something like that, but it doesn't happen as frequently, and so there's just more stability, I would say, in my experience, from betting boxing as opposed to betting team sports. Like, I would never do it on team sports. I would never take 2,500 minus 3,000 in college football, college basketball, because weird things happen. There's just too many things that can go wrong for those teams to lose. But in boxing specifically, there's less that can go wrong. And if a fighter is a minus 3,000 favorite, he's just better than the other guy. It just is what it is. And the other guy is just not going to be able to compete over the long duration of the fight. So anyway, that's just food for thought. Just wanted to get that out
Yeah,
there.
I love it. Honestly, boxing and MMA are one of the only sports where I feel really comfortable parlaying heavy favorites. That's really the only sports. Like, I do it obviously, and I try to find my spots, but I feel much more comfortable doing it in MMA and boxing.
Yeah, and it's crazy that the odds. I'm telling you, minus 6,000, minus 8,000. I've seen minus 10,000. I mean, yeah, you're nickel and diming at that point, but you're still increasing your odds, and with virtually no risk. So
Yeah, I think you just hit yourself on mute by accident. But yeah, all right.
no, I just no, I just finished my thought abruptly.
Sorry. All right. You know what? It's coming up at 1 p.m. right now. Let's recap our best bets. Drew, why don't you go first? I'll go, and then Prince will close us off.
Yeah, my best bets are Alabama money line, minus 110. Then West Virginia minus 1.5, and a certain measure you can get that at minus 120. And then SDSU plus 1.5 at minus 110. Always take the points when you can get them. And then the Oilers versus Senators over 6.5 at minus 130.
Thank you very much. And thank you for sending me those plays already. I really do appreciate it. I have a bevy of picks. Thank you, Prop Stars. NHL, I have the Florida Panthers money line minus 110. NBA, I have the San Antonio Spurs minus 6.5 at minus 125. I also have a 2-leg parlay in the NBA with OKC minus 4.5 and the Miami Heat minus 6.5. That's at minus 116. I think I said that already. Soccer today in the EPL, I have AFC Bournemouth, Brentford, both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at minus 120. I have a half a unit on Atletico Madrid on the spread plus 1.5 at minus 136. I have a look ahead line on the UCL Man City team total over 1.5 minus 113. That's going to be against Real Madrid on the 9th of this month. And then the World Classic Baseball, I have 3 look ahead plays, 3-leg parlay, including my Miami Heat and OKC Thunder money line. And I parlayed that with the USA to finish first in Pool B and Mexico to finish second. So that's an exacta. You can find that on Top 2 Exact on DK. To qualify from Pool A, I have Canada at plus 100. And then to win it all, the USA at minus 110. All my World Classic Baseball plays are a half a unit for now. I'm probably going to want to play individual games so that I roll it over instead of just betting on these futures. So that's it for me. I'm very excited. Prince, close us off, man.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna go to the women's World Cup qualifying in Europe, where we have Iceland on a +4 spread against Spain. We're gonna parlay that with Liechtenstein on a +4 spread against Lithuania. That parlay is gonna come in at plus 106 odds. And then we're also gonna go to the CONCACAF women's qualification, 6 p.m. Eastern. We're gonna take Bermuda on a +4. 4.5 combo play, taking on Costa Rica here, and we're gonna get that at minus 110. For SternBets and DrewDelucci, I am Prince of Picks. This has been the Only Bet Sports Betting Podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, hey, if you want to join us live, we're live Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, over on X, Twitter Spaces, whatever you want to call it. You can find it at SternBets over on the X profile, where you will find these spaces link there. You can tune in again live Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We'd love to see you guys with us live. We appreciate all the downloads on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you can rate, review, and subscribe, we'd greatly appreciate that. And for SternBets and DrewDelucci, I'm Prince of Picks. Until next time, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.